Good morning everybody, I am Sarah with the trains, and this morning I'm at Boston Station bright and early to visit the last two stations on the Poacher Line. These are both not served very frequently at all, so I've got to make the most of when they are actually being served. Our first station of the day is going to be Thorpe Culvert, but we've got to go via Wainfleet to get there. Once again we are on board a East Midlands Railway Class 170 that was quite clearly once in the possession of London Midland. I have now arrived at Wainfleet and we've got about 35 minutes now until the train to Thorpe Culvert. The ticket machine here at Wainfleet does appear to be in full working order today. We have now made it to Thorpe Culvert. We've only got about 20 minutes at Thorpe Culvert, so just time for a quick history and a run round. Not a literal run round, always walk at the station. The station serves the village of Thorpe St Peter. It was opened in 1871 by the Wainfleet and Thursby Railway, and services were extended to Wainfleet in 1873. In 1896, the Wainfleet and Thursby Railway was taken over by the Great Northern Railway, and the line was doubled, and the doubling of the line reached Thorpe Culvert in 1899. The Wainfleet and Thursby Railway that opened this station was so called because there was a station called Thursby, and that was between Thorpe Culvert and Boston. Sadly, that was closed in 1970 under, you've guessed it, the Beeching Axe. Now let's have a quick little look at what facilities we've got here at Thorpe Culvert today. We have got two platforms. As you can see on the other platform, we've still got a little station building which is in use as a waiting room according to the sign on the door. We've got these flower boxes on the railings, a help point, a smart card reader, next to the level access ramp. So let's head out this way. As you can see, we've still got a signal box over there which looks after this level crossing. We've also got a lovely grit bin, some information signs, a good old flappy plastic bin, this sign that tells me this project has been funded by Central Trains, Railtrack and the Countryside Agency, as well as the ERDF. The fact that that includes Central Trains and Railtrack tells you how old this sign is. Now, is the waiting room open? I somehow doubt it. Oh my god, it's open! Now obviously it's not the fanciest of waiting rooms, but it's a waiting room. Now just having a quick sit down in the waiting room. We are waiting for our train to take us to the next station of the day, which is going to be Haven House. I'm really hoping that the toilet on the train that comes in is working, because it suddenly dawned on me, A, how much I need to go, and B, that it's going to be quite a long time before I can use a non-train toilet. This does seem to be a really beautiful little area. There's a lot of greenery, there's birds singing, and if it wasn't so long between trains, I would definitely spend a lot more time here. But unfortunately, if I don't get on this train, it's gonna be a very long time until the next one. I think I'd next get out of here at something like 4:30. For reference, it's currently 7:30 AM. One thing I have noticed about Thorpe Culvert is there are no ticket buying facilities. Okay, so the spelling isn't quite the same, but this road is clearly made for me. What with my surname and all. Just quickly correcting myself, a minute ago I said that I'd be stuck here till 4 o'clock if I didn't get this train. There's actually a train at 11:34 going to Skegness. So it'd still be about 3 hours, but nowhere near as long as 4 o'clock. Another class 170, another different mock-up. We have now made it to Haven House. So I was just talking to the guard on the train, and he said that nobody ever gets off at Haven House. He's never had anybody get off here. They stop here, but nobody gets on or off. So I am a rarity, and that really doesn't surprise me. It is a little used station because it's a little service station. Unfortunately, unlike when I tried to go to Thorpe Culvert last time in my video that went wrong, which I'll link up here, there was an announcement on the train to say that you had to only get out of the front coach because the platform is so short it can't accommodate anything more than that. Unfortunately, the toilet on the train was out of action, so yeah, that's not going to be fun. It was quite an old unit, and I think it could do with some serious refurbishment internally. Haven House Station was opened by the Wainfleet and Thursby Railway in 1873, but it was originally known as Croft Bank. It was just the one red brick platform at that time, but when the line through the station doubled in 1900, that platform was rebuilt, another was added, as was a waiting room. Haven House Station was mainly used to supply local farms, and in 1927 a goods siding was opened, and there was a 3-foot narrow gauge railway that served this, the so-called potato railway. It was used to transport manure and seed potatoes to the nearby Worth farm, and to transport out potatoes, corn, straw, hay, that sort of thing. Sadly though, that goods siding closed in 1964, and the narrow gauge railway was removed in the late 1960s also. There was also a signal box on the Skegness bound platform where I'm stood at the moment, but that has also now been removed. Now we've had that brief station history, let's have a little look round at what we've got at Haven House Station today. We've got 2 platforms here. As I mentioned, these are quite short platforms, so if you are getting off the train here at Haven House, you've got to get out of the front coach of the train because the rear doors won't open. As well as the usual benches and planters. On the opposite platform there is still a station building with a waiting room. I'll go and check if that's open in a minute. We've also got the tactile paving and of course the flappy plastic bin. We do still have the station house here. Most of that is now a private residence, but there is this bit that has not been turned into a private residence, but it doesn't seem to be used for anything at all. As you can see, there is really nothing going on in there, although I think we can see a bricked up fireplace, because that does look to be a chimney breast and the remains of a hearth. We've also got cycle parking and this far more recent concrete block waiting room. I do think that so-called waiting rooms like this have delusions of grandeur, because let's face it, it's a bit much to call it a room. It's a small concrete hut with a bench and a corrugated roof. We've also got a smart card reader, help point and grip bin, as well as onward travel information. Now let's head over to see the other platform. Access is over this little barrow crossing here. There's a handy sign to remind you which platforms for which destination. So looking back to the Skegness platform, just above the ballast you can see some red bricks, just a little line of them. That's actually the remains of the original brick platform. As I've already mentioned, we do still have this station building that is now a waiting room. I'm just going to check if that's actually open. Oh my goodness, it is. Again, it's not the fanciest waiting room, but it'll keep you dry. Now, to be perfectly honest, I am astonished that there have been waiting rooms both here and at Thorpe Culvert, because they're such little served stations, they're unstaffed stations. Most stations like that just have a little bus shelter and that's it. So I'm pleasantly surprised about that. If you do come here, there should be a place for you to shelter out of the rain. Now we've had that tour of Haven House Station, I am going to have to make tracks so that I can get back to Boston, because I'm going to have to walk an hour to get to Wainfleet in order to get a train, because this station is so little served, as I think I've mentioned a dozen times by now. So let's head off on a walk to Wainfleet. Bye Haven House, it's been a pleasure visiting here. This is one of those times where a public footpath that lets you cut across the fields would be really, really helpful. So after an hour's walk on roads that mostly had no pavements at all, I'm back at Wainfleet, ready to head back to Boston. Having visited those two little served stations of Thorpe Culvert and Haven House, I have now ticked off every station on the Poacher Line. If you haven't seen my other Poacher Line videos, I'll drop a link here to the playlist. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. As you can see, the jacket's come off. I'm very hot and sweaty, so I'm just going to have a little chill out until my train. I'll see you all next time for another railway adventure. Bye. As always, an extra special thank you to all of my patrons and channel members and everybody who donates to me on Ko-fi. You really do keep this channel going. If you'd like to become a patron or channel member or donate to me on Ko-fi, the links to do so are in the description below.